For many organizations, the biggest cloud security challenge is not a lack of tools, it's managing too many of them. Hello and welcome to Securing Your Network Hub, your destination for the latest on Fortinet. I'm Neely, and I'm joined by Ed Moltzen, editor of Secure Network Hub. Hey, Ed.
Hi, Sydney. How are you?
Doing great. Now, today we're breaking down Fortinet's 2026 Cloud Security Report and what it reveals about the growing complexity gap in cloud environments. So, Ed, let's start there. When we talk about this complexity gap, what does that really look like for organizations right now? And why is it becoming so difficult to manage?
Well, one important takeaway from this year's cloud security report from Fortinet is a disconnect between how fast cloud environments are expanding and how well organizations can actually secure them. Now, most companies are operating across hybrid and multi-cloud environments. This means different platforms, different policies, and different tools all running at once. And the problem is security hasn't kept up in a unified way. Teams are stacking more and more tools to cover gaps. This is what's known as tool sprawl, right? Those tools don't always talk to each other. So instead of improving security, it creates blind spots. And that's the complexity gap, right? More technology, but less clarity on what's actually happening inside the environment.
A lot of that seems to come back to managing too many tools without enough visibility across the environment. So, from a partner perspective, what is really driving that gap between how much organizations are investing in security and what they are actually getting out of it?
Great question. Now, a lot of it comes down to fragmentation. Organizations are heavily investing and spending more on security, but they're often doing it tool by tool, not strategy first. Each new risk leads to another point solution. And from a partner perspective, that creates environments where customers may have dozens of piece parts for cybersecurity, but no single unified view of all of it. And without that visibility, they're not getting full value for what they're investing, right? They can't respond quickly. They can't prioritize risk effectively. And they're often duplicating effort, which is really a bad thing for efficiency. And that's what partners are stepping in, not just to add more tools, but to help rationalize what's already there for a customer and connect it to something that actually works.
That really shows just how complicated these environments have become. When you look at organizations operating across hybrid and multi cloud setups, where should partners really start if they're trying to simplify security but still keep that visibility?
Absolutely. It starts with guiding customers toward integrated platform-based approaches, right? That cut down on what's known as operational friction. Partners should be looking at how to reduce the number of disconnected tools and move toward a unified platform approach. Exactly what you'd see with Fortinet Security Fabric and its single dashboard approach. Something that can provide consistent policy, centralized visibility, and shared intelligence across environments. And with the emergence and explosive growth of AI, that shared intelligence across environments is an increasingly big deal. It means identifying where the biggest gaps of security are, and whether that's visibility, response time, compliance, but then also outlining solutions around those needs. And the goal is to create what you could call a single pane of glass, right? Where security teams can actually look through and see what's happening across cloud, what's happening on premise, what's happening at the edge of a network, all these environments in real time. And that's what begins to actually close that complexity gap that we mentioned just a minute ago.
And when partners are able to close that visibility gap, simplify things, and bring more visibility into those environments, how does that start to turn into real value for customers and open up new opportunities for their business?
Sure. This is where it really shifts from a technical conversation to a business one, right? When you simplify and bring visibility together, customers can move faster. They can detect threats earlier, respond more effectively, and operate with more confidence. And that translates directly into reduced risk and better performance. For partners, it opens the door to more strategic roles. Instead of just deploying tools that we talked about earlier, they're delivering outcomes, ongoing security management optimization. And this is important. Advisory services. That's where you see the rise of managed security services and long-term customer relationships. So simplifying security isn't just about cleaning up the environment. It's about creating a foundation for recurring value, both for the customer and for the partner.
That's what really sets partners apart, especially right now. Ed, thank you so much for walking us through that.
Absolutely, no problem.
That's all the time we have for now. To stay up to date on Fortinet and the broader security landscape, visit securenetworkhub.com. Thank you for being with us. I'm Sydney Neely, and we'll catch you next time.